Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I've got the dynamic comedic duo of Julie and Brandy. Welcome back to the Juicy Scoop headquarters.
Yes.
Wonderful Juicy Scoop headquarters. We love them.
We have so much to get into. I've just been overwhelmed. We're going to get into it. Jamie Lynn Spears. Things I should have said. The book came out, and the podcast Daddy Gang got the... the podcast Caller Daddy got the interview, and I watched it. I listened and I watched part 1. Part 2 was supposed to drop today, Wednesday. As of now, it is not dropped because I'm going to jump a little bit ahead in my notes here. But after Britney went and posted all this stuff, how angry she was about it, a cease and desist letter came to Jamie Lynn that then was released to the media. And and basically it said, as you know, I represent your sister Britney Spears, and I write at her request concerning the above referenced matter. We write with some hesitation because the last thing Britney wants is to bring more attention to your ill-timed book and its misleading or outrageous claims about her. Although Britney has not read and does not intend to read your book, she listens to Juicy Scoop and has heard a lot about it. She and millions of her fans, Juicy Scoopers, were shocked to see that you have exploited her for monetary gain.
I will add again.
Yes. So continues on.
It doesn't seem like a lawyer wrote that. She will not tolerate it, nor should she.
And
Right.
And she doesn't like it.
It gets better. You, of all people, know the abuse and the wrongdoing Britney has endured during her conservatorship after initially growing up with a ruinous alcoholic father. In fact, your own book reported and states that your father spent most of his life in cycle of this behavior, drinking, and then it goes, Britney will no longer be bullied by her father or anyone else. Britney was the family's breadwinner, and she also otherwise supported you. Publicly airing false and fantastical grievances is wrong, especially when designed to sell books. It is also potentially unlawful and defamatory. And Michelle Obama famously said, when they go low, we go high.
I didn't realize lawyers were in the business of quoting. This is so...
Of being judgmental.
And also just...
And more
did Michelle Obama realize she's being bandied about amongst the lawyer crew? It just seems very casual, this note.
Mm-hmm. You recently reportedly stated that the book was not about her. She takes you at your and at your word, therefore demand that you cease and desist from referencing Britney derogatorily during your promotional campaign. So I did listen to part 1 of a 2-hour podcast. So if the second part comes out, I'm assuming it's coming out late because they're cutting out everything.
Britney's
and
name.
maybe they'll only be the part about her daughter's ATV accident, because everything else that I heard yesterday involved Britney, which is her life. Okay, but still, if they feel threatened by this letter and they don't want to. So
basically, the cease and desist isn't about the book. It's about her promotion of the book, because no one's going to read the book.
And,
so they're like, stop going on your promotional tour selling the book using Britney's name.
And obviously the book is published, so they have a team of lawyers that say this is what you can say.
Do you think, is it possible to just go beep every time she says Britney for the Dumb Daddy podcast?
I don't know. But so in it, she talks about this one thing that happened when she was a little girl. She was about 11. And Britney said, "Come here, baby, I'm scared." And she took a knife and she brought her into a room and she shut or locked the bedroom door and she put the knife in a drawer next to the bed and made her sleep with her that night. It was very scary. Jamie went and told her mother. The mother did bring her to a therapist to tell the therapist, but then kind of left it at that and never addressed how scary that might have been for Jamie. And which that part I kind of sympathize with.
I did too.
I am the youngest of 5. I grew up with teenagers that were not doing well and waking up to my parents being up all night where they weren't home, going to visit drug rehabs like at 13 to see my sibling. So like, yeah, it is hard when you're growing up in that. And then also to have the dad that was the alcoholic. So that part I sympathize with her. But basically, I'm going to break it down. Britney is saying that never happened with the knife. How dare you say that? That was one long Instagram. But then I remembered, didn't Jamie wield a knife? And she did. And it's from 2015 at a Louisiana restaurant. I don't know the dispute. Look it up. Daily Mail has the video. We easily found it on the internet. It is a surveillance camera from a kitchen at a place. I don't know if they didn't make her sandwich right. I don't know. But she is holding a big frickin' ass, like long bread knife kind of a knife.
Like a knife from a scary movie.
Yeah, kind of wielding it. And the poor person working there seems to be on the phone with the cops.
It looks like she busted backstage at Subway and she's pissed the jalapenos aren't on the footlong.
The tomatoes are mushy and I don't appreciate it. Okay? I grew up with an alcoholic father and I need my tomatoes to be firm. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you.
So
who's that guy?
That is so good.
She also
Heather,
talks about
that is
Dan Schneider, who is the creator director of many shows, and he is also no longer ever going to work again because of all the stories that have been about Dan Schneider, mostly that he had a foot fetish. And there was a compilation video on YouTube of Dan Schneider's work in which he wrote or directed or produced bits of how much foot fetish stuff is in it with these little kids.
Ew.
So he no longer will work. They gave him a big payout. No one talks about him. But she doesn't say anything negatively about him. But she does talk about her co-star in Zoe 101, Alex something, and said that Alex spread rumors that Jamie herself was not nice and had BO and had lice.
Yeah.
We heard her say that, yeah.
Now, I feel like the thing with the knife is such juicy scoop for real, because that girl, Alex, said that she, right when anything bad, that she actually does, she then says someone else did it.
Jamie does.
Yes, Jamie. Yeah. And she said that it was like a common thing with her where right when Britney would be coming for her and blocking her on Instagram, then Jamie Lynn would then unblock Alex. So the knife thing is so deep because it's like she put that in her book. Because although I felt for her, I didn't feel like it sounded right at that age.
First of all, if there's video of me from Daily Mail wielding a knife at a Subway, and I'm going to do my tell-all and tell the story of how my sister said, "Baby, I'm scared," had a knife, but didn't put it up to me, didn't put it up to herself, put it in a drawer. I think I'd leave that story out.
Yeah.
I would be like, why try? Yeah, it's like if you got a DUI, are you going to write about how devastating it was that your husband also got a DUI?
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to be like, okay, we both fucked up. And you're going to
yeah.
Why would you? So that went down. And, then she doesn't speak highly of baby daddy of Casey. His name's Casey Aldridge, and that is her baby daddy. That was her boyfriend who she got pregnant with while working on Zoe 101.
So she was a teen.
So she had this show Zoe 101, which was supposed to be either was filmed at Pepperdine or was supposed to be Pepperdine, but I assume it was filmed in California.
Nice.
But in the interviews in that she's also able to go home and be a cheerleader on a squad and screw this boyfriend.
Yeah.
So I guess the seasons were short. And then she could go home and get her groove on.
What was her age when she got this pregnancy?
16.
Okay.
15 or 16. She gave birth at 16.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
And and so
damn.
And so that happens, but the sister, Ashley Aldridge, writes, "Oh, Jamie Lynn Spears," the sister of her baby daddy. "Oh, Jamie Lynn Spears wants us to all stand up and use our voices, huh? That is why you wrote a book, right, JL? Well, good. A lot of truth to tell about you too, Miss Perfect. Get your PR team ready, little sheltered, spoiled brat, because I'm stepping in now and the lies are going to come to light quick."
In my experience, anyone with the last name Aldridge is really not to be fucked with.
Well, plus, and she's got...
Seems like a gamey last name.
She's got Harvard at the end of that, too.
That's now her married name, apparently.
Oh,
yeah.
Ashley's
got married.
not having... Because basically she says he wasn't a good boyfriend, he wasn't a good husband, he was
15.
But she also said, he was 16, but it wasn't... I guess they don't like what what she said about him. Okay, so here he is. And then Sam Lutfi wrote, I took this as well. It's a photo with Jamie and the boyfriend at the time. Does her demeanor appear consistent with the description in her book? I guess just that she was saying she was so miserable during this time, whatever. Okay, so now we get to Britney's post. This is all happening in the last 24 hours. And she writes this thing, and I'm going to shorten it. But it looks like a stock photo of like a iced frappuccino.
Okay.
She writes.
I love a stock photo of an iced frappuccino.
Yes.
On the Shady Post.
And she gives credit to Light Field Production. She's not ready to be sued like Lisa Rinna. She's not stealing stuff for Instagram. So that makes me think someone does help her with this.
Yes.
Because I don't believe that she's like, can we legally get this credit for this? Okay, so.
Well, I will say that when last time we were on, you showed some of her Instagrams with using the cucumber emoji that I am now using full time in my work.
Oh, okay.
Because she used a chopped cucumber, which I couldn't even see. And you go, I think it's a cucumber. And it's like, and I now think
what does it mean now?
I thought when I texted
Clip
you,
it, cut
think it might, I think she might be using it for like a penis, like instead of the eggplant.
Cut off the dick.
Whatever it is, I like it. Kind of looks like a dick and balls from far away.
Okay. So she says, after home, should I do it in my Britney voice?
Of course,
obviously.
Okay. Hold on.
You're going to get a cease
Hi,
and
guys.
desist, though.
Okay. I flew home to Jamie Lynn on the couch, watching her TV shows right after Justin and I broke up. Justin Timberlake.
So good.
I was a ghost there. I had worked my whole life, and I didn't know how to be served by Mama. Sit there, get served the chocolate milkshake with a perfectly crushed ice and the secret chunky sugar. Meanwhile, Jamie Lynn is 12. She indulges with the TV for hours,
sounds like
then
Britney,
goes
right?
to lay out on a raft in the pool. I am in shock because this was never my life. Justin's family was all I knew for many years. Things were different now, and Jamie Lynn had a new Nickelodeon show. All I remember saying was, damn, how the hell does a 12-year-old land a Nickelodeon show? I went a little in another voice. Well, I never got my iced chocolate drink. I mean, yeah, I've grown upright, yes. And then maybe I need a little support. I was People magazine cover. The People showed up, and Jamie Lynn says I was scared. Fuck yeah, my mama was on pain medication and could barely hold a conversation in the house because her and my dad split. And my dad split, and she was more messed up than anything. I remember her sitting on the couch in a conversation, and she never got up. And I'm sorry, Jamie Lynn. I wasn't strong enough to do what I should have been done. Slapped you and Mama right across the fucking face.
I don't even know what the story's about. Oh, my God. So good.
I get that she's remembering that she came home after working her ass off and being heartbroken from Justin Timberlake. Mm-hmm. She expected a heartbreak drink of some special milkshake Mama made her with secret sugar in it. Mama couldn't do it because she was on pain meds.
Okay.
But meanwhile, Jamie Lynn wasn't making that shake for her either.
She was indulging in the TV.
She was on a couch, and then she went on a raft.
Right.
And she had a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
So
and who was on the floor and never got up? Was that
the mom?
Okay.
Mama. Where they only refer to as Mama. Both of them. Mama. So I think a lot of this is what happens too with older and younger kids. The older kids always got it harder. Maybe their parents weren't as wealthy when the baby. Now, the other thing is she said she was an oopsie baby, that the parents had Brian and then they had Britney. And so Brian was 14 and Britney was 10 when she was born. And that the dad had got a vasectomy, but he didn't go for a checkup. And so it's like, oh, so you weren't planned. You were a mistake. Like, boo-hoo. Well, you know who also was a mistake? Me. Okay? To the point where my dad said he had to go to San Diego to meet a priest that would bless his vasectomy. Because I wasn't only the first mistake, I was the second. Oh. My sister Shannon was a mistake too. And they told us all the time, you weren't surprised. Your mother can't count a calendar. But you were planned, but you were a surprise. Because your mother couldn't count a calendar, okay?
And apparently you couldn't wear a condom or pull out correctly.
No, It was up to my mother. It was up to my mother. Yeah.
It's your mom's fault.
And everyone was going to quack doctors that didn't give them the vasectomies, just put them out and then went, I'm going to go have an iced latte.
And then
with
my
some
mom
crushed
said, I
sweet
got
secret
on
sugar."
the pill because I had my 2 boys and my girl, and I certainly didn't want any more. And I got on the pill against the church, and my friend got a blood clot, so I went off the pill. And then I had 2 more until your dad found a priest that would bless a vasectomy. So you know what, Jamie Lynn? Fucking top that one. Okay? So what? Like, who the fuck isn't a mistake?
Yeah.
Probably 95% of the kids in the world
Honestly.
are not a mistake. I mean, are mistakes. Okay, so, but with that, I do think there's sometimes, even when you're not super famous and made a lot of money, there's a jealousy of like, the parents were so strict with you. They have that kid like at 40, that kid's spoiled. The older kids spoil that kid. That kid, might live in a more luxurious life.
They're
in
entitled
her case,
as well.
she gave her a career. She gave her an in to get her own show.
Well, that was the whole thing with the original interview about the book that was on like Dateline or whatever it was. It's like,
Good Morning America.
It's like I felt for her simply because, of course, she's like, when do I matter? You have to say it like her, Heather. Like, when do I matter?
I mean, it's like, when do I matter? When does anyone care about me? I was always just an afterthought. They were like this ship that was sinking, and I was just like a buoy hanging off the side.
Now, is that why you ran over the cats?
She has backed up over several cats.
Wait, I don't know this part.
And I unfortunately told Julie, who gets irate about things like that. I mean, as
like
anyone
her
should.
own cats are like Randall Feral
her
cats.
own. And then she's such a dumbass. I mean, said with all due, that she then tweets or Instagrams like, you know what, Infinity, you need to fix your backup cam because this is the 3rd cat I've hit. It's like her in her own garage. She can't see the cat with the reverse camera that's sleeping under like the warm.
Right, and under the
She's
car.
killed like 3 of her own cats.
Even after the second one you killed, you think, maybe there's a cat under here. You know what I mean? Maybe
Always
there's a cat
extra.
under here.
I have all those things, and I'm always like, wait, is the dog out? Peter, is the dog, like, I would never. It's like my biggest fear in the world.
Multiple times.
She swears she didn't run over a cat, but if she had, it would be Elon Musk's fault.
Oh, so she said she swears she didn't run over a cat, but if it was Elon Musk.
Yes, so she did do it. Because maybe it wasn't her.
Because
Maybe
the Tesla didn't have a good enough camera.
Right.
And she went ahead and she's killed 3 cats.
Okay, so then Britney also says, in life, a lot of people say, do I matter?
Oh.
Try eating alone for 4 months, noon and night, Jamie Lynn. I ask myself every day, does anybody care? What the fuck? Do I matter? I would honestly be very interested to see your pretty face in the setting I was forced to be in and asking yourself, do I matter? I didn't get to cry. I had to be strong, too strong. So yes, you do matter. And don't you ever think for a fucking second you don't. Psst, this is my new Baby One More Time outfit.
By the way, this is my new Baby One More Time outfit.
And then she had like a little like skirt on or whatever.
And she put crying, laughing. I thought she was going to say stronger. You do as a reference to stronger than yesterday.
Well, hello, and thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Please, I beg of you, subscribe, like, share, watch, tell people. The karma that will come from this will be so worth your while.
I mean,
Her song.
So then I had a Juicy Scooper send me this doozy that I just played for you guys. Britney does characters now. Just doing a little fun series of characters. One being a therapist. So she did a whole little sketch called Sessions with Ashley where she plays 2 parts. So she has a blazer on, no top underneath, and she does have the brown sensible pumps. Both characters in this sketch are wearing the sensible brown rounded toe pump.
And the choker.
And the choker, yes.
And it's important that so sessions would be therapy sessions, and of course, it's the therapist's name is Ashley, which I don't think there's one in existence in the country, but there could be a therapist named
Dr.
Ashley.
Ashley.
But she is very porny. She's a porn therapist.
So it's pretty long. It might be taken down soon. I don't know if she's trying to start doing stand-up, which everyone is trying to do, or is she trying to do sketches? I mean, trying to like get it be. It wasn't funny. So I'm going to describe it, and then you guys can just tell me what you thought of it because I forced you to watch it. So she comes in, she's like, "Hi, welcome to the session." This is her therapist voice. "We need to help you because your relationship is having some trouble because you're having problems with your bowels." Then we cut to Britney, who's wearing like a crop top, low ride, really low, like 2006 low rider Frankie B pants with some with the sensible pumps, and she's like, "Well, I have a boyfriend, and his name is Earl, and he has an alcohol problem, and he took me to the most beautiful night ever, the most beautiful night of my life, and then he took me to a play, and we got to meet the cast, and it was so lovely, but I had a burger, and I'm a little bit allergic to fried food," and she starts crying, and it was the opening night of Cats. I'm like, "What? Like opening night of Cats? What the fuck?" So then I had to run. And I ran to the bathroom, and I shit all over myself. I shit. I shit all. And I was like, that was the story. Because when she first started, I was like, is she alluding that she's ruining a relationship because she's not ready for anal? I was like, what's happening here? No, it just went to a lowbrow shitting on a date story.
Because the therapist, Ashley, says you're avoiding intimacy because of your bowel movements. I mean, you made that so much more sense. Like,
well, I know how to cut things down. I couldn't
make sense of it.
It's like 7 minutes long.
Yeah, and it's mostly the story of the date where she shits all over, I guess, herself and the guy.
Now, I want to say to all the Free Britney people, because you have worked really hard, and you're going to probably write some real mean shit under this. Tell me that was good. Tell me that was funny. Yeah. Tell me that was well executed. Tell me that was cleverly written. Tell me that was acted well. Tell me that you laughed, because you didn't. Mm-mm. So don't get mad at me. I'm not ever saying I wanted to go back into a conservatorship. I'm saying I don't think this is working for me as entertainment.
Yeah, you're going to say, well, I'm saying, and I don't care what they write, that looks like someone who needs to go into a conservatorship. I'm just kidding. But that's the thing. It's like, it made me feel
that person is unstable.
If you haven't seen it, you mainly have to go and look because it's legendary and it's already been stolen offline, so she can never erase it. But it's the filter that makes me upset. There's something on it that is supposed to look psychedelic, and it's it's strange. It's very strange, to say the least. But I'm on her side with the Jamie Lynn book, because I'm like, I actually don't care that you were a traumatized child because you sucked on the teat of Britney, and then you were not there for her when she needed you. But yet you rode her coattails all the way to Zoe 101. Then you act like a little bitch all over Zoe 101. And then when she was clearly needed you weren't there, and you were still letting her pay all of your bills. She still paid all of their bills.
That's what I want to know. So she says in the interview, no, I never took a dime. I made my own money. Zoe was a good paycheck. From 14 years ago on Nickelodeon, I don't care if you're the star. I don't care if you made $500,000. That's not enough to live for 14 years. What was she living off of for the last 14 years?
Britney Spears says in the court thing with the I'm going to go ride in the fucking car with my boyfriend. She says in that thing that she paid all of their bills. They were all on her. That was her whole nut, included Jamie Lynn's whole life, wherever ranch.
Where is Brian in all this, the older brother?
We saw one interview with him where he was like, they're just all strong personalities, and these women, they just they really want to get what they want to get. And then the other person who was interviewing him was a man who was like, yeah, they want equal rights, these women. Said it. It was like, you aren't hearing yourself. But at least Brian, who is older than Britney, even if he was living where he was living, he wasn't riding the coattails. You know what I mean? Maybe he was, living in his modest house off of her, but at least he's not in the public eye. I mean, she really snapped when Jamie Lynn did that stupid tribute.
Right.
That was just beyond the pale.
Well, she later revealed that she didn't like that tribute. But at the time, I think she just sucked it up and kept performing in Vegas.
But she let it
know that really bothered her. And then, okay, so before we go, so now let's, you can ask me anything, because I've studied the book, and So in case we don't get part 2, because of the cease and desist, I am going to, and this is a parody, don't come after me, Brittany, okay? Or Jamie Lynn, or
right.
Mama.
Well,
Okay.
well,
Or Ashley.
I do
I
want to
gotta
know
sit like
about
this.
the incident with the child getting hit on the dirt bike, or what happened with the accident with the child.
The ATV. A lot of people talk about that. Yeah.
Now, this is serious, so I don't want to make light of it, because this was the one sad part about the whole thing. I wish you wouldn't have started with this. No, we were in the ATV, and the ATV flipped, and it was underwater. So we were trying to reflip it. We couldn't. And thank God an EMT got her and released her, but she was under the water for a long time. So it was very scary. It was a miracle.
But did she say you look like Carrie Underwood?
Oh,
I thought
okay, that's what you're getting at. Okay, so when my daughter woke up, like, she still was like not like completely
Like slightly, yeah.
yeah, because I mean
5
she'd
minutes
been under the water. I
underwater.
mean she's fine now, but
Right.
and so she was like Carrie Underwood, and I was like, obviously, like, I love that song and I can sing too. Like, Brittany's not the only one who can sing. But clearly she just, and then she realized later I was her mother. But yeah.
At first glance, she thought you were Carrie Underwood.
Because you
I
had been...
guess just because, like, the long hair and that we, like, are both Southern and that I can sing.
Right, because were you singing Jesus Take the Wheel while the ATV was flipping?
Or when
Like,
she
was that
healing.
happening? Yeah.
Maybe when she was trying to sing to her spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really remember. There's just, like, because I was just a kid. Even though I was a mama, I was just a kid. So,
Right.
like, it's just like, I was just like an afterthought. So, like, I don't really totally remember.
Yeah.
Now it says in the book you thought of Britney like your mother also.
Yeah, she was like, so Brittany, when I was born, Brittany was like 10. So it's like, I was like her little doll, and she'd like dress me up, take care of me, and she could do my hair better than Mama. So like, she would do my hair, and we'd like have a lot of fun, and then it's just like, and then with Brian was like this big football player. So I was like a little cheerleader, like I have a little cheerleader outfit and like followed him around. And so, yeah, but then it's like, well, then when she started working all the time, it's just like, I remember I was like 6 years old and I was on this trampoline, and they were like, oh my God, your sister's like a singer. And I go, like a real singer, like Mariah Carey? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy for her, because it's like she did it.
And then how did you get on? What was the, with Zoe 101? What's the journey there? We
So, yeah, like the people just came and they were like, do you want to be Zoe 101? And I was like, how did you know that I like to act?
Had you been in acting classes and stuff, or how did they get?
I mean,
you
it was
into
just like always kind of like natural.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't really remember, because I was just like a kid. I just like would do like dress up and like do like little voices and stuff. And yeah.
Everyone on set said you were a cunt. Now, how do you? These are all the little girls on set were just saying that you were so mean, but then are they lying?
100% they're lying, because like all of a sudden they started a rumor that like I was mean and that like I smelled and that I had lice. And it's like, I only had lice when I was back a cheerleader, because like we would do all our hair together and
Yeah.
stuff. We had to go on these buses. But at that time I was living in California, so I did not have lice. So I told Brittany, and she was so awesome. Like, she's so like totally my protector. And she came down and she said to them, like, you people are being mean. Don't start, mean rumors about that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, we did hear that the one co-star that you
Alexa.
that you and Brittany took her into one of the trailers and yelled at her.
Yeah, because it's like, if you're going to be telling lies and like not being like a spiritually nice person, like, I don't need to put up, like, I was a mistake child. Like, my parents did not plan me. I was an afterthought. I was like floating in the ocean by myself. Like, no one asked me my opinion. No one cared about me. And it's like, there were just these people that were like making me do all these things. I don't know who they were, because they were just like my team or whatever. But like, yeah. So it's like, I don't know that I can remember every day that I wrote about in the book.
And did you? And what happened when you and Brittany got into that fight when your daughter was there?
Well, it's just like, it's like she is just like, she has her issues. And it's like, I can't really speak on that. I just wrote about it and just talked about it for 2 hours. But it's like, she's got to go her own journey. And it's like, people should have just been like, give her a break. Like, let her just like be free and be like, not free like out of conservatorship, because that was like for her goodwill. But I mean, like, maybe like let her like only perform 6 nights, not 7. That's what was my suggestion. But like nobody knows that part, Like I was like speaking up for her, and I was like, why doesn't she just get Sunday afternoons off?
Because it seems like people are thinking you didn't defend her.
I did. I was like, how? Like, why does she also have to work Sunday afternoons? And Mama was like, because a lot of people, like to go to shows in the day in Vegas.
Did you ever ask that she be released? Because you never said free Britney.
I don't even understand like what that whole thing was about. I didn't understand when I was 11. I didn't understand when I was 16. I didn't understand. I don't understand now. I still don't even understand what it was. Like it was so long ago. Like I don't remember because I was like an afterthought. I was like floating in the ocean.
If you could say one thing now
Yeah.
to Britney, even though she sent you the cease and desist letter.
Well, I
But if you
could
could
show
speak
you
to
the
her-
text that she sent me.
Yeah. What do you want her to know?
I just want her to know that like I'm her sister. I'm blonde too. It's not my fault that I like to sing and dance. I'm a mother as well, and I had nothing to do with getting Lou Taylor to get you in a conservatorship, but I did sign a piece of paper that Lou Taylor told me to sign because I was just a kid. Like, I didn't know. And they just told me, like, this would be better than you, like, hanging out at, like, gas stations with Tim Lutfi. So I was like, where do I need to sign to not make her go to gas stations? So they made me sign. And I was just always like, okay, what else is going on with, supporting Lou Taylor as, like, a businesswoman?
How old were you exactly before we let you go? Because you keep saying you were just a kid when she went in.
When you were floating in the ocean.
Yeah, in the conservatorship. Do you recall?
Well, no, it's just like, listen, like, I didn't, like, have, like, a formal education because I was, like, singing and dancing. I was cheerleading. But, like, a lot of people on the cheerleading squad were mean to me because they're, like, jealous because Zoe wanted one of my sisters. So it's like, I didn't want to be, like, in English class and stuff, but I was able to write this book by myself. And, but, like, I lead, like, when Lou Taylor would, like, give me a bunch of papers to sign, and we'd, like, have meetings about how to keep Britney to continue to perform. Like, I just was, like, busy. Like, I'm a mom, Like, I'm, like, I don't know, like, is the world round? I don't know. Like, could it be flat? When you're a busy mom, you can't know everything.
No.
Yeah, and you're a young mom. Yeah.
Yeah, like, really young. Like,
Yeah.
I was, like, 16. My parents were, like, not so.
You're an afterthought,
but, like, my
floating in
mom,
water.
I mean, even though she beat me with a beaded purse with a camera inside of it, like, I don't want, like, trolls coming after my mama, okay? Because, like, mama, like, she tried. Like, she tried. So, like, we all try, we all, like, support, and, like, I never want anything but, like, the best for Britney. Like, I wanted her to have the best stage to perform on, the best paper to have the checks written on. Like, I wanted her to have the best.
Exactly. Wow, thank you so much for answering our questions.
Yeah, thank you. Like, yeah. So hopefully we can get along.
The
Well,
best check,
thank
the
you.
best paper for the best.
Well,
I
I
wonder,
have to say the
will we
knife.
hear? What's your prediction? Because we're recording this at like 1:30. Do we get part 2, or does Spotify not release it? I say we do, but it's like 31 minutes.
Yeah.
And it has nothing about her in it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what legal standing it is to tell someone you can't talk about someone. So I'm not really sure.
Forward, but it's like, is it worth it?
We've ignored many cease and desists.
Many, yeah.
And also, I feel like that group, Barstool Sports, has enough money.
That she's
Yes.
not with them anymore.
Oh, she's not?
No, she's with Spotify.
Oh, well, Spotify does too.
They have a lot of money, but then they also have a lot of relationships.
Okay.
And as a part 2 of a podcast that also does really well and isn't hinging on this episode,
Right. I hope
And
they
probably Spotify's trying to sign Britney.
Right.
Tell it like it is on Spotify. A Spotify original. Yeah.
And we heard that she had like 3 different titles that were all like Britney Spears lyrics prior to doing.
Okay, that's not true. I didn't really know the name, so they just put like a place card name in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, Oops, I Did It Again wasn't one of the.
Possible titles for the book.
Yeah.
Okay, so like okay, I don't know like how to put like the book together. Like I don't like go and like put all the pages together and put like the hardcover and like wrap it and like go to Barnes and Noble. So like I don't know how like people come up with titles and stuff. Like I just wrote it, like but like I don't really remember writing it.
It probably was stronger than yesterday. That was probably the lyric, I would think.
Yeah.
Not oops, I did it again.
It wasn't,
Stronger
like,
than
toxic,
yesterday.
right.
Or toxic.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. You know. Well, I don't know. That's pretty.
I'm here for Sam
juicy.
Lutfi, I will say. He seems like a pretty big supporter of Britney.
Yeah.
Well, because he I think has signed a bunch of NDAs and all this, and so I don't think he can really tell the truth. But he's being able to share a lot in his Twitter right now because I just don't think anyone would care or go after him.
Well, and
I mean,
all
what
of the
Lynn's going to go? Or Lynn, the mom's going to go after him now? Like, no one's going after you now.
In the documentaries, I thought he was great. I thought he really helped her. And I mean, I had completely judged him, but I was like, oh, that was the tea on all of the Britney stuff was that he was like, if I put drugs in her food, they would have had me arrested.
Yeah.
And I was never arrested. It was just, they were just smearing him. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He also said that like he spent some Christmas with her or something and nobody gave her any presents, Britney.
Yeah,
and Allie, I guess that was like a cousin or an assistant or something, had to like get her all these gifts and wrap them for her and everything.
Oh.
But can I also say, as a mother, I don't get gifts. Like I haven't gotten gifts for Christmas. Like, what are you, Betty Broderick? Is this one for me? Is this one for me? Like, what mom? Like, if your mom was pissed that she didn't get gifts on Christmas, she's not a great mom.
Yeah.
Now, if you got your sister and if you got 5 friends gifts and not one friend gave you a gift, find a new group of friends as a 40-year-old woman. But like, I mean, I'm not freaking out that like I don't run down on Christmas morning like I'm 6 and start counting my gifts and then berate my teenage children for not getting me enough shit.
Yeah, no, I think she probably has arrested development and was like, "Where's all my gifts?" or whatever, and sad and was probably alone. And and I'm paying everyone's bills. Where's my
I
damn
think
gifts?
they both have arrested development. I mean, because they both, just like a
yeah.
Michael Jackson, like didn't really have a childhood, or the childhood was not an ideal childhood, so it like makes you weird later on. So we'll see what happens with that. And just like that, we get to talk about the latest episode of And Just Like That. Let's take you through it. She wrote a book, so we had no podcast scenes. She has written a book, Carrie, about basically Carol Radswell's first book, What Remains. It's like her widow book. And she goes to her book publisher. And I was a little disturbed by the outfit. It reminded me of this, of the Joker outfit. It was a purple jacket with a vest and polka dots and a yellow tie or a red tie. It was a different color scheme, but it was close enough.
Why can we get your take on her doing this hairstyle? Is this
Yes. Oh my God, we just talked about it.
Okay.
I understand wearing it in a bun when she had the boat neck, beautiful white outfit, and her body is banging at the auction. All the other times she's worn a bun has been a huge mistake. She goes on a date, a bun. Stop with the bun.
I feel like they're trying to make her look sort of matronly, so that the plastics or the Botox filler scenes play.
I don't know. I feel like she wouldn't. I feel like some women get into wearing their hair back all the time. I don't get it. Like
that is so severe.
Like Heather Dubrow is always wearing a bun, and Shanna Bador from OC is always wearing ponies. And I'm like, I'm sorry. As I get older, I feel like this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, this is what saves it. Like, cover my jawline.
But she has incredible hair. And
yes,
she's been
why aren't you showing it off?
Because I think they're trying to make it so she's like, oh, what should I do? You know, when she went in and talked about the Botox and the fillers, that's not this episode, but it's like you're supposed to be like, whoa, it's a kind of jarring, you know.
I think she likes wearing her hair in a bun, and they go like, how do you want it? And she's like, I'll just put it in a bun. And I just think that she's an executive producer. No one can make her do what she doesn't want to do. Mm-hmm. Then they go to the auction. And this bothered me so much. The beautiful new couple, her name's Nicole Parker in real life. I forgot her name in the show. She doesn't know how to hold the mic.
And what was the point of that,
It was bothering me. I think it bothered me more than Shay's stand-up.
No,
Honestly,
no, I don't accept that. I will
Okay,
not
maybe you're
accept
right.
that. I will not
I'm
accept that.
exaggerating. But like that really bothered me. Like I'd be just as mad as him. Like bring up the mic. Why did you offer to do this?
Yeah.
Oh well, that's a pet peeve. I mean, that's
It's like Julie talks about that in general all the time.
It
When
drives
someone
me
doesn't
crazy.
hide.
People really do that a lot, though.
I find that people do it more than you realize that they're doing it. But I don't know why it was a thing. It didn't go anywhere in the story.
Yes, it did. It was for Shay to come up and do the immediate joke.
Oh,
Like,
like,
oh, well, okay, I guess
no,
I
you
can-
don't
and
need
also
this?
they have a little argument. They're fighting. So the two perfect couples aren't perfect
Oh my god!
because Charlotte and Harry, who appear to have a perfect couple, she comes home from tennis and he's like, "Oh, the Jew needed some nosh." Okay, as a Jewish person,
All of it.
Why does he have to refer to
All of
Can a
it.
57-year-old Jew ask for a napkin? Who refers to themselves constantly by their age? Do you imagine if I was just like, oh, as the mother of 3 who's Catholic, can I have a glass of water? Like, what the fuck?
The whole show is written like that. Every character, like I'm. I walked in the room. There I was, a non-binary half-man woman. What am I gonna do? Right? Who's fucked me? Ooh. Like they all talk like that. I'm not going to apologize to you because I'm a woman, and women have been doing this for years, and we're not going to apologize anymore. Like everything is like a
And
commentary.
then there's just weird things. Like I'm like, did it take her a year to write the book? Because if it's been
listen,
a year,
I had to go to the timeline.
For hours.
I could not handle the timetable of this shit.
Timetable.
I just couldn't. I was like, what are we doing here? How much time has passed? Like this date in the book. So
and also I think if it's been a year since your husband has died,
it hasn't.
so it hasn't been a year.
No.
It was just like 3 months, right?
It's, well,
3 months
it's-
because she said Shay, it's been 3 months.
but I think that was 6. I think what they're saying online is it's 6 months because they're showing you the leaves are changing and like as if anyone is onto that nuance when everything is too bright, anyways. But
Yeah.
it's Shay said the 3 months thing, which I was totally like, there's got to be a better way to show us time has passed.
Right.
So
and
anyway, so we know that she was fingered by Shay. Miranda, the finger that was heard around the world. Okay,
It wasn't even sex. It was just fingering by a non-binary. That was the scene. It's fine. It's just fingering from a non-binary.
Miranda, can't anybody just stay who they are? And then Carrie's like, no, we can't because my husband died, bitch.
And I'm unhappy, and Steve is deaf, and I don't know what to do. And there I was, could get fingered, so I did. Do you have any wine? The whole, I can't take it.
How many times did it say non-binary
I
too?
can't
It's
take
like
it.
just
Oh,
cut.
how many
Oh, and then
times?
when Shay is at at the event as the stand-up talent, and these two women are like, we know we're not your main we know you're not your core demographic. I'm like, oh, you mean the 1% of non-binary people in the world? She better hope she's not just catering to her core demographic. Otherwise, you don't get, no one's watching your special. I watched it 10 times, and my husband was like, are you ready to get fingered by Shay?
So, I mean,
yeah.
And then before the event, so Miranda had DM'd Shay after the fingering because she never gave her phone number, and Shay has 350,000 Instagram followers, and so she's like, "Yeah, how long are you supposed to give that?" Then Carrie's like, at least you don't have a dead husband. He might be deaf, but he's not dead." And then she's like, "Yeah, so." Do they ever talk about me at the podcast? And when I first heard that line, I was like, you think Bobby Lee and the wheelchair girl are talking about Miranda? And then I was like, oh, no, they only meaning Shay.
yeah.
And so, but I thought that for a minute.
Oh my
and
God,
was
I didn't even get that.
thought it
I
was a
didn't
group.
even get
like
that.
they're
I
all
thought it was
sitting,
the
I
group.
imagine
Me
they
too.
like, I was imagining Miranda thinking that they're all sitting around the table.
That's what I thought, too.
ripping on Miranda.
Plural.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it
And
was.
then
because
she's
that's what
like,
they mean.
well,
Right,
Shay's
that's
been
what
back
they
and
means.
forth to New York. And then she's like, I just wish, I just wish they, she goes, well, if you listen to the podcast, they ride all the rides, because they did like a comparison to a roller coaster versus a monorail, which is her and Steve. and then Shay goes on all the rides. But when I heard that they go on all the rides, I was like, yeah, because Bobby Lee has been riding the girl in a wheelchair, which is sort of like a ride. But then I was like, no, we're still just talking about Shay.
one person.
And Shay's also bisexual binary.
Yeah, so she's been getting
So she
dick.
does all the rides.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves dick.
Right.
She loves it. When I look at her, I think that is a dick person.
That's come from Dyke. If somebody's not sure exactly who sang that out of Heather, Brandy, and Julie, it's Julie, the lesbian.
And I will say whatever I want, okay?
So she goes on her date with the cute teacher from the school, but she doesn't know that he's at that school. And they drink so much that he pukes, and then I guess she pukes. And so then she's like, so, worst date ever, puked on my date. And Anthony's like, one time I shit in my pants on a date. And then she's like, well, still can't beat me or whatever. And they're like, let's get back to your shitting story. And I'm like, okay. So when I hear a gay man say, I shit myself on a date, I'm thinking this is some top-bottom situation, okay? Mm-hmm. And he goes on to say, I was 12. I was with a girl. It was chocolate chip cookie in my pants. And I'm like, and then they're like, well, that's what I knew. Until you shit after your husband dies. And I'm like,
I mean, that you can't even.
I'm like,
I have to go
and
see
also
Dr.
I'm like, Sanford is dead. I mean, sorry,
Yeah,
but
right.
like the character, like, stop bringing up his husband.
It's
when the
crazy.
character of his husband can never make an appearance on the show again
Yeah.
because he actually is gone.
It's absolutely,
but
utterly.
maybe that was filmed before Sanford. I don't know. No, it wouldn't have been.
I know,
I
right?
think
'Cause
that's why he's gone.
No, I know, but
Right?
yeah, right. So,
So they knew.
Yeah, they
They're-
knew when they wrote it, so no excuse.
Their
be-
date, though, their terrible date, did kind of remind me of Britney's Starry Night at the.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, again, like the common denominator of like comedy writing. You know what's the funniest thing? I will say, stories told well about shitting in your pants can be hilarious.
They're a delight.
Any story
They
told
can-
well.
They can be hilarious.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that it's never a great subject because when it happens to you or when, I mean, my son will not enjoy this, but my son told a story of when he went to like 6th grade away camp. And the story, I'm not going to, because he puts the YouTube up and whatever, you might watch it. But he was 6th grade. It was I was like it can be really funny
Yeah,
when
of course.
someone tells it right.
Of course.
course.
As
Yeah.
any story can be
Yeah.
really funny
Not
when it's told
chocolate chip
right.
cookies in my pants with like 12.
Well, that doesn't beat a dead husband. Everything, the whole
is,
thing.
Why isn't it funny? Is it? We had someone recently
whole
tell
show.
us
It's not
they were
funny.
like, just stop expecting that. It's a drama. Just enjoy it as a drama. And it's like,
But
we
even
don't
the drama
want to.
I
sucks.
think that's what but I do think that is the way to
Enjoy
because there
it?
were times in Sex and the City it really was funny.
Oh.
There were funny situations. There were funny scenes. There were oh my god, I can relate to this. No, so you're right. This is drama. It's not funny, but I will never stop watching. So then
I'm hoping that it gets funnier. Do you think
Yeah.
it will?
No.
Like,
And
okay.
It got way
maybe-
more sexual. That's
maybe.
for sure.
And then the new character, the realtor, she's like, "Oh, I signed you up for a dating site because no one buys real estate in February in the winter."
I mean,
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what was that?
Your
Like,
husband
what-
been-
like every restaurant's packed in the winter in New York. Are you saying like what? It's shutting down? Like it's
So now
Michigan
you're just
or like I mean, what?
Your husband's been dead for 3 months. I put you on a dating app.
Yeah.
It's time to get out there.
I did it
You've
on-
not been living life. You have to get out and find a man.
And then she's like, I did it on my lunch break. Lunch break? Do you work at a factory? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know one realtor that refers to, let me look up those houses for you after my lunch break. Like, what are you talking about?
your whole
Like,
day is a lunch break. You're
Yeah.
just in and out of breaks.
Yeah,
Like,
you're just working. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But
anyway.
do you think she's the new Samantha? I'm sure you've already dissected this.
I don't think they're trying to make it Samantha. I kind of think she's Anthony and her are combo. They had to get two people to replace Samantha almost.
Okay.
Yes. And so then just to finish this, she sees the teacher again, and then she's up for an auction item. Who wants to buy Carrie for the day? That was the only part that I thought was funny, that I cringe funny and completely related to, because I've had people suggest that I do this.
Ooh.
Like auction yourself?
Yes, Susan Pinsky asked me to do it.
No.
And I said, nobody is going to buy it. Can I just give you the money instead? Like, no. My fans would, but like at like a a restaurant, and like, I had another person do it where they were like, we want to have like a book party with you, and I was just like, the thing about me is I'm whenever I've been hired at anything like this, the two people that hired me are like thinking it's the greatest thing, and everybody else is just chatting like, who the fuck is this? It is the worst. I will never perform at an auction again. I don't want to say never, because if you pay me enough, I will.
Wasn't that the thing with Big? Wasn't that or that was an auction that was like a charity thing where you met?
Oh yes,
yeah.
It was difficult though. They were like across from a pool, but still, I'm not saying never because I'll do anything for $1. But like, it is not. And I'm telling you, people don't know who I am. I don't care what you say. I was in Vegas, and someone would recognize me, and then their friend would come up and like, who are you talking to? And then she'd be like, you don't understand. This woman is so funny. And she's like, I don't know who you are. I'm like, I know you don't know who I am. Your friend, like, all right. Like, it's just like, I'm not.
Yeah, like, what do you want from me? What am I supposed to do?
So anyway, that part I could relate to. But then the teacher buys it for $1,000. So you're telling me a teacher is going to give the school that pays him, I'm guessing not an enormous salary because you're a teacher.
No, of course not.
$1,000 charity.
After he's already had to decorate his own class on his own dime. We know the whole thing with teachers. They don't get paid enough. They have to provide the supplies.
Yep.
The unrealistic should be called, and just like that, this was very unrealistic. I mean, it's just all of it. It's just really hard.
Every part of it.
So then we get to the best part. Okay, let me see what I have here.
Oh God!
Jay, which this scene reminded me of the finale of Pretty in Pink, when Ducky starts to approach
That's just like Ducky.
Miranda. If only Miranda's hair was still red, that's exactly what happened. And Shay is wearing kind of a Ducky type outfit.
Yes, good call.
Hands in the pocket. Oh, and then even when those two women are like, "We're not your coordinator," and they're acting like excited, she's like, thanks, but I see someone I know. Like, this is all like, she's not even like gracious about it. Anyway.
No, she's very arrogant, although she is hotter than Ducky. But I will also want to say really quick that Miranda, they're selling this gray hair, which is fine, but I do feel like it is leaning a little more towards blonde.
It's a wig.
Oh, it is?
Everyone says it's a wig.
Well, I feel like they're making it a little more blonde. She was blonde when she was young, which I'm not. I like it. I mean, I'm glad it's more blonde than it is.
I think it looks good.
Yeah,
but,
I do too.
Why isn't she funny at all? Why isn't she funny at all? Why isn't there not one funny bone in this person? I don't understand.
Because it was people writing for a comic, and she's not. The actress is not a comic, and it's like,
oh, she isn't.
No, and I think a comedic actress can play like a stand-up, like Punchline with Sally Field, and of course Jean, what's her name in Hacks. I think Jean Smart. I think there's people who can play that character. I think they just threw too much at this character.
Yeah,
and it's like
I just wish she was a little more casual.
Yes, and I will say, just as and this is Julie talking again, a lesbian, that I think that as hard as they tried to not be cliche and not fall into a trope and not whatever, they fell right directly in the middle of it. They took their feet and they got sucked into the cliche, and it's real disappointing because we got this butch, you call non-binary, whatever. To me, that's a butch dyke, and she is so just predatory. She's arrogant. She's the exact kind of person that I don't want to be associated with. And it's just like, that's what we get all the time. Is this like a man, like predatory in the sense of like arrogant, like I'll show you how it's going to be done, or you want me to whatever, sidestep you in the mouth or whatever it is, like walking up. Even this picture. Like,
God smoke me.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. What is it called?
Oh, shotgun.
Shotgun smoke. We're all so out of it. Like gun smoke me.
That's the other thing.
Now.
Sidestep me.
I feel like who's ever writing this is not a regular weed smoker, because that's another thing. They're not Jews, and they're not weed smokers,
and they're not non-binary.
They're constantly like, I smoked so much weed. Oh, I don't remember. I had a lot of weed. I don't know. I smoked a lot of weed. I'm like, God, you're not doing a lot for the weed movement. You're making them like never remember anything.
And then she said it was that she had listen, I smoke a ton of weed, and it was the sheer volume. it's like the sheer volume of like pussy in her DMs. It was like, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
just
Okay.
why?
The
Just
volume in my
why?
DMs, I couldn't possibly go through them all.
She's such an arrogant, cocky, smug, annoying. I can't stand. I'm sorry.
Well,
I hate this character.
The character.
I hate
The character.
this character.
what I hate is that Samantha's not there because the hypocrisy of Miranda. I recently saw a scene of from Sex and the City, the original, and it's when Samantha had her girlfriend, the Argentinian or whatever, I don't know where she's from, artist woman, Maria, and she's like, I'm dating somebody, and they're all, who? You know, it's like, Maria, my artist, Maria, woman, Maria. And then, here she is. Hi, darling. So then the three of them are walking back, and they're like, who does that? And Miranda says, what? One day you just start eating pussy? No, it doesn't just happen overnight, Carrie.
Oh shit! Roll the tape.
Yes, there's
Show the
Miranda
receipts.
said that.
Show the receipts.
time for some receipts.
Time for
It
some
really is.
receipts. Wow, that's
So,
good.
I mean,
That's
Samantha's
good.
sitting back in London being like, you fucking hypocritical bitch. You were so not
supportive.
so judgy.
Judgmental.
And then Charlotte goes, she's ran out of all the other dicks in the city.
And that's
Like she's
why-
fucked every guy. She had to go to a woman. I mean, it's they're walking down the street. You'll die. You can probably look up the scene.
And that's exactly why any woman goes with a woman, because there's no more men left. I mean, come on, Sex and the City. Come on.
I was wondering what Samantha was thinking about that lesbian relationship, and I was wondering, or that non-binary fingering, and I was wondering if Samantha ever did she sleep with a married man ever?
Oh.
That was
Well, I'm so glad you asked, darling. You know, I'm no saint. And let me tell you, a lot of these men make it very, very tricky to find out if they're married. And back then, we didn't have Google or Facebook or Tinder or Bumble or any of it. So when a man presented himself as a fabulous divorcee and had a big dick I was ready to ride, guess what? I didn't ask to see his marriage or his divorce papers.
I mean, that does make sense.
yeah.
I didn't seek it out.
So did you ever get in a fight with any of your friend group for accidentally sleeping with someone who was in a relationship?
Well, do you remember when I fucked Charlotte's brother?
Oh no, I forgot
I
about
gave
that.
that boy the best sex of his life, and all she did was snarl at me.
Which I do think it's
They
weird
were all
because now,
so mean to her.
because now, like Carrie, I know she just only cares about, I guess, big dying, but it's like she got with her coworker. I feel like that's super that would just be annoying to me. Like,
Wait, what coworker?
well, Shay or whatever's on the podcast, they do
yes.
the fingering at her
The
house. and
poaching-
it's
well,
like-
she kind of added to that. She didn't like that. She's like
She
my boss or whatever. But I do think we're not going to see any more podcast scenes because she's back writing the book. Because I really hope we just go back to writing books.
I agree. I mean, she can just continue
Or will she
writing
go-
books.
So I found out that in between books and podcasts were the things called a blog. So I'm going to quit the podcast and just start doing blogs. Like, we're just going to go back like 12 years. Could you just have a blog?
Yeah.
It's like a newspaper, but without printers.
She'll just do long Instagram posts
Yeah. I mean,
like Britney's.
Anyway, okay. Well, there's the greatest scene ever.
By the way, the
Full
whole thing
nips out.
It was
full
so
Miranda
cringy.
nips out.
Her boobs look nice.
the others,
Yeah.
when I was shocked at the other sex scene with the other couple, and he was fully holding her boobs.
Yeah, it was pretty sexual.
I didn't remember.
yeah.
I had to.
I was
Speaking of boobs, so this photo was posted for Chai's birthday. And I came across this guy, TikTok. His name is Trevor.Hiltz. And the first thing I thought was, oh, is bra fat coming in now, just like under boob? Because Kim Kardashian has some bra fat.
Oh.
Anyway, this TikTok is about how it was immediately taken down because it was photoshopped, because her whole thing is Skims. Skims are supposed to cover bra fat. Oh. And also the face, she still looks beautiful, but the face does look different when it's not through a Photoshop or a filter.
Right.
It's weird because I feel like the face looks kind of flawless.
Well, she does look flawless, but
Just
that's
needed to
why
go
I'm
in there
saying-
and smooth that out.
But
Facetune
she's so
real quick.
so used to doing all that type of stuff
Yeah.
that
Also, Chris, timeless.
Chris looks great.
She looks happy.
She just looks so good all the time.
But I think
Shy is
I
the
think she probably was
cutest.
just like, you know what, it's fine. Like, let's just go, and then didn't put it together about her. That would be
she
something
didn't
she'd
post
do.
it. No, Chris posted it.
Oh,
They stopped talking. She got a cease and desist.
yeah, seriously. Like, I have one thing. You're there for Kylie all the time, and now you got to ruin my whole Spanx line.
You'll remember when Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high, we don't show our boob fat.
Right. And so then this video is going viral. Dream is over here at the Target because she lives right up the street. So she's at this Target. And I don't know if a nanny's pushing her or what, but Dream, who's Rob's daughter with China, she's like, oh, my auntie sells these. My auntie sells these. They're Skims. And who's ever pushing the cart goes, oh, those aren't Skims. And she goes, yeah, they are. It's the same fabric. So it was actually kind of cute. And it also made me go, I wonder where that lawsuit's going with Black China suing the Kardashians.
Yeah,
Because she was suing the Kardashians saying that they
ruined the show.
they
her and
ended
Rob's
their
show.
Black and Rob and Black China show. And I checked, and the last I saw it was September of 2021, and it was still like waiting to go to trial or whatever.
I thought
But
the
I
first
would hope
round
that
she
they
lost, but I
I
would
just
hope
hope they could settle because the kids all like play
Yeah.
together, which is nice that
Yeah.
it hasn't affected that. But
That is such an adorable picture. I
Yeah.
would urge people to go and find
Yeah.
it. She looks so cute there, like
Yeah.
looking at the clothes of their little like.
But also,
better.
just like she's like, it's the same fabric.
Yeah.
Like she's pretty like savvy little girl.
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly said that the Megan Fox engagement ring that's everyone's talking about, it actually has little thorns, like jeweled thorns in it. So if she takes it off, it hurts.
They're so
What's
thirst
your-
bucketing on the Billy Bob Thornton, Angelina Jolie. I mean, Megan Fox has been obsessed with Angelina Jolie from jump and has made no secret about it. And this whole, and I mean, it's just, I don't know. For me, it's exhausting, even though she's obviously super pretty, which I can just get by if I can just look at somebody and they have eye candy like that. But
Yeah.
I'm not here for the whole, like, we drink each other's blood. Like, I'm just not buying it, quite frankly. You're with Brian Austin Green and you lived in Toluca Lake. And you know what I mean? And Jeff Lewis went to your house to redo your house. And a month later, you're broken up. Like, we know where you lived in Toluca Lake. Are you now, where are you living now? On some hillside drinking blood, casting spells with the cat, with, Alyssa Milano from Charmed? I mean, just like Mecca Lecca Hi, Mecca Heiny Ho. No, it's just dumb.
I don't take this ring off.
All right.
It'll be
Do you
pain.
think she'll have his baby?
She has 3 kids already,
Yes, 3
right?
boys already.
Does he want that? I don't know.
I don't want her to
know.
simply because the body is snatched and she's done lots and lots of work on it.
Yeah.
But that's they're very sexual. I mean, do you think that they have hot sex?
Yes. I think that's
That's it.
absolutely.
Because that's the whole thing with Billy Bob and Angelina.
I think they want to have a kid. I don't think they would be preventing having a kid. We'll see.
I think it's just
My prediction, they have their one kid, and then they're broken up by the time the kid's 2.
she's
Sorry.
got to know that having kids sucks.
So
Since she has 3.
I wanted to go over the latest taglines for New Jersey.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought they were pretty good.
Can I just say that
Yes.
we don't watch a lot of Bravo anymore,
Right.
But we of course are lurking on Salt Lake City, and we saw on demand the new trailer for the new season of Jersey.
Yeah.
Which we know Teresa and.
Yes, I remember you said that you went to like Melissa's house
Yeah.
and your kids are so cute.
But we haven't, and Teresa's kids are they're all just really lovely children. I mean,
Yeah.
all of them, really. We loved every one of them. But we haven't seen not even a glimpse of this show except for Girls Trip or whatever that was
Right,
called.
right.
Yeah. So we've seen Melissa and Teresa.
Melissa, yeah.
You know what I mean on Girls
Right.
Trip?
I think this is going to be a good one.
We were
I have
shocked
some
as to how they
inside
looked.
scoop,
Okay.
and it's going to be good. So
Well, that's
Let
the
me-
only thing I could get us there because we saw the trailer. We were like, wow, everyone looks bizarre.
Yeah.
already, I want to say collectively, because usually there's a couple good taglines and a couple doozies. I want to say to the producers of Real Housewives of New Jersey, this is the best collective group of taglines I've heard. They're short, they're the right length, and some are really great. So Jennifer Aiden, who's married to a plastic surgeon. My nose may be new, but I could still smell a rat.
Oh,
Great.
And
okay.
using the word rat from New Jersey,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yep.
Okay, Melissa Gorga. Some people are born great and some are born Jersey. A little plain, but she's a little plain.
Right.
She's always like this. She's not, we need her. We don't want her to go anywhere.
Right.
But she's never where the drama is. So that's okay. Then Dolores. I don't start the drama, but I will stop the show. And that
Oh.
is very Dolores. She's always the best friend, but you cross her or you cross a friend, and she will stop the show.
I'm so happy Dolores is still there.
Yeah.
Is she still friends with Teresa?
Yes.
Oh, great. We love her.
Now, this one is just okay. This is Jackie Goldschneider. And it's a little long. See, it's a little long. See, it's written out. I think too many words.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay me a compliment, but you do have to pay me respect. Now,
No.
I'm thinking there must be something in the episodes where compliments come into play, because why would you pick that?
Because I'm wanting it to say, but you do have to pay me some money. Or something about pay me.
Like
I don't know.
there's
That's where the
something,
joke is
like,
there.
I
But
don't
you
know.
do have to pay me my due.
You do have to pay
Like,
me.
there's
You don't have to pay me a
something,
compliment,
yeah.
but, you do have to pay me.
Good one.
Yeah.
Something. That's what we'd say. But I don't know. It's too
does
long.
seem
You're
like
right.
you
And why do
don't
we
have
have
to
to
pay
pay
me-
you anything,
Yeah,
Jackie?
it doesn't,
Right.
Who are
that
you?
one doesn't totally go.
You don't have to pay me a compliment,
Then-
but I want you to pay for what I paid for when I paid for the check at the restaurant, and no one paid, and it was a group, and I don't appreciate having to pay for everyone.
You do have to split the check.
And I don't. I hate.
I don't care if you just got a salad. We're splitting it equally. What?
That's a tag. Great tagline. I don't care what you order, but we are splitting the check. I don't care if you didn't eat. We're definitely splitting the check down the middle.
I don't care if you don't like oysters or champagne. We bought a bottle and
Exactly. I don't care that I picked the restaurant, made you all come out here. It's my day. It's my party. It's my charity event and my birthday. You're going to pay for it, and
We're
then
all going to
call
split
me
it
later.
50-50.
I don't care if you had a late lunch and we met at 6.
And you don't drink,
we
you're sober.
all got a starter, an app, and an entree, and you are still paying your fair share.
I don't appreciate that one of you, and I'm not going to say who, was late to the lunch, okay? Now, meanwhile, we were all here on time, so now you're going to have to pay for all of us.
Yeah.
And don't call me later, and don't text me, because I'm not going to talk to you about it.
Teresa's one. I have a new king, but I'm still queen of New Jersey.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
Excellent, because she is the queen.
Yes.
She has a new fiance, and she did treat her first husband like a king, even
Yes.
though he was a
Yeah.
piece of poo. So I just think it's
Piece of poo.
perfect. Okay.
I love Teresa. I'm
and then
glad they
here
gave
is
her
my
her due.
favorite from Margaret Josephs.
Okay.
Let me try to do my Margaret Josephs voice, but I work on it. You know what? The more okay. I say, when you have nothing to hide, there's nothing to lose. And what I love about that is that she really is completely transparent and has been from the beginning of being on the show, and her book solidified that. There's like nothing you can dig up on her.
Does she have a lot of, like...
She was married. She, right from the start, fell in love with her contractor, cheated on her husband with her contractor, married her contractor, still is friendly with the ex. A couple of the stepkids have not forgiven her. She's honest about that she's still striving to gain that relationship back. She's, slept with her boss early on, in her career, and didn't really understand, she just thought she had to do it, but explained it. She had lawsuits that she won. She's just been completely honest. And it's like, but I think this is also hinting to the season that some other people's shit
hiding.
that they're trying to hide is going to come out, possibly, where she's maybe calling them on it. And so, anyway, excited for it.
I mean,
Don't try and get
does
us
look
sucked in,
good.
Heather.
I
We're going
know.
to try to stay away.
This is my favorite TikTok for real estate housewives. Her name is Lay in NYC. Okay. And you got to look up Why I Love Teresa Giudice's home, and it's still for sale. And she goes through in this soft voice and just points out like a column that like doesn't reach the ceiling, and like all these weird structural things that like two different size windows that are next to each other. Like it is amazing.
And
It's so funny.
She's being facetious.
Yes,
Like she's like,
but
"I
she does
love
it with
this
the Reed's
half-built
house. She does it with a lot. Like literally, I think a lot of people might buy houses, go through escrow and everything, and not notice these little weird, quirky things. Like still, house is still big. It still has good bones maybe, but it's like that extra little like the columns and all that kind of stuff that's like very Teresa Giudice. But then structurally, like we're not done well, so it's very funny.
Well, remember when Melissa and Joe were selling their house, and even the show went in and was like zooming in on like the sink coming off the wall and like all like tragic like Home Depot like very shoddy touches in their house. The show like through the artist shade, I was like, wow, they really put them on blast because Joe himself was a contractor or whatever.
Right. Yeah,
so I was like, okay, well,
Right.
I want to talk before you guys leave. I asked you to just touch on a show because I just wanted to hear your opinion in general of Sister Wives, the story of Cody and his 4 wives living through 2 years of COVID, 18 children, and never building on Coyote Pass in Arizona.
I do want to thank you because what we like to do is go into a depression and then watch like 2 or 4 seasons of Sister Wives at one time.
Okay.
And then when it comes back for the new season, we've now lost interest.
Okay, yeah.
So it's definitely a binger show. So, it's so gotten so next level. I mean, Cody with his blonde hair. Look at him right there. He is. When did he turn into like
Sammy Hagar?
Yes, alpha Sammy Hagar of the world. And then it's finally the whole thing of how he's really only been attracted to and in love with Robin since he married Robin. It's been the only wife he's even, period, end of story, been involved with in any way emotionally with.
Right.
That has finally come to light. And the rest of them can now finally safely just leave because that's, I mean, I don't want to give it away for anyone because I did have to go.
Don't give it away. I've been talking about it. We can give it away.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
But I had to tell Julia, I was like, I think Christine left him. And I was like, he wouldn't build the house in Utah. And like, I mean, it's so good. I just want them to get mad at Robin, even though it's not Robin's fault. But I want them to get mad at Robin too, and not just Cody.
Right.
Because they're like, I hope he can spend the time with Robin's children. It's like, why? Because they're little?
Well, it's very true. A lot of people brought up that like he's just not close to the bigs. He only wants to be around the littles.
And
because the bigs call him on his shit. Like Janelle's son was like, I just don't get it. Like and it's kind of sad because I guess they all like really adored him. But what I also found was interesting is that so Janelle is wife number 2. I sometimes mix up the numbers. But Janelle is wife number 2. And both Janelle and Christine each had 6 kids.
And Christine's 3.
Christine's 3. And it was when the show started like 10 years ago, it only featured the 3 of them. Mary, who only had 1 daughter. Then Janelle, who had 6. Who Mary introduced Janelle. Like Mary was down for it. Okay. Then I never watched it back then. Or how they came about. But then when the show started, they already had the 3. Christine had 6 kids.
I just want to tell you, Mary didn't think she could have kids. And so they need to have 5,000 kids.
Right.
So she was for Janelle because Janelle's parents weren't in the lifestyle or whatever. But then Mary got hyper jealous of Janelle and Christine. So the early...
also Janelle's mother was either divorced or a widow. And Janelle's mother married Cody's father as a 3rd or 4th wife before Janelle married Cody.
Oh, okay. So that's how she ended up in the church.
Yes,
with them.
But what I thought was interesting is that Janelle's kids are like, we just want to be with Christine because Janelle always worked, but Christine raised all 12 kids together like a little preschool. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I think they have a good bond because Janelle liked to work and provide and needed to work to provide for everybody, but then had this sister wife that was raising her kids with her, which was better than anything else.
I thought it was so sweet when he said, we love her like a mother. Like, I was like, I don't just want the man, I want the family too. That's what
That's
that's what Christine used to say.
Oh, really?
And it really did touch me. I was like, oh my God. And I told you, I was like, He said he thinks he's like, we miss Christine. We haven't got to see her because of you and your stupid alpha Sammy Hagar rules.
But I think that is what I've always thought of when I've seen like Seeking Sister Wives and stuff. I've always been like, the women want it because they just want help. They just want somebody else helping to raise their kid. And they are okay with the fact that their husband is having a relationship with someone else and fucking someone else. They don't care.
Until they care.
Right.
Because that's the thing. You will eventually care.
Well,
there's no way you will not care. And now you care.
Well, now Christine's like, don't come up in here bossing me around.
Yeah,
she's like, you've been here. You're giving. They don't want his rules. That's for sure.
They're not like, because some polygamous families or whatever, if they're really steeped into the religion, like really steeped into it, they'll just suffer and they will be disassociated from their feelings and they'll do what the man says. But they're not really like that. And then they had their kids, they had the family. I think they tried to make it work with him, but they, when you see that someone isn't into you or is into someone more, you're done.
For a reality show group of people that have been on for so long, I don't know that they've done any interviews in all the years. I don't see them like in People magazine. I don't know. So I've been trying. I've begged anybody that knows them. I am dying to have any of them on my podcast. Obviously,
could you get one of the kids? Because a lot of the kids have left and they just lead regular lives.
Yeah. And Mary's daughter's lesbian. I bet she'd do it.
Mary, the one single daughter by her, and then Mary got catfished.
Yes. Oh, I know.
This is amazing.
I don't know. It's just fascinating, beyond fascinating. And I thank them for their service.
Yes.
We're going to just finish off on Salt Lake because you said you were watching it. This is a scene from Kyle Had a Party in Beverly Hills, and someone recognized that Lisa Barlow was there years ago.
That is such tea that you could barely recognize Lisa. Did she get a nose job?
This is from George. Wait, I just want to give this guy credit. Giorgio Says came up with this.
I think.
And now here's the thing. I don't actually think it's that scandalous. Because a lot of people have been on, like, Say Yes to the Dress and have been on other shows. And even Kristen Takeman was friends with Brandy Glanville. And then Kristen Takeman got on New York. Like, it's not a thing. They're looking for people. So the fact that she happened to know Kyle and be in this industry. And it's obvious that she is very down for being a housewife. Got her kid his own line of
Hot Wolf.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it.
Julie gets
I
so
love
into
it.
it.
I love it.
What did she call him? Gorgeous son or something?
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, do you love that she has those two sons? We love Lisa Barlow. We are so here for her.
Yeah, I think the sons are adorable.
I always think about you like, that's like Heather with her two sons.
She has kind of an interesting voice too.
Like
it's
that.
a little
I
bit
love
like
it.
yeah, that's what it's like.
I love it.
I was obsessed with the fact that this manicure by Jen.
Oh, she's just
She's gone through it.
She's gone through it.
She is missing not one, not two, but 3 long nails. And I feel like the middle one was short, but she saved it with some polish.
God.
So she really lost 4 nails out of 10.
I love looking at her hands and her nails.
Who is emotionally ready to discuss Jen's every nail for themselves manicure for I Live for Bravo?
I'm rooting for Jen Shaw.
Who is your favorite on there, Heather?
Rooting for her to go to jail.
Who's your favorite on Salt Lake?
Heather. I like Bad Weather.
God.
I like Heather and Whitney.
Yeah.
I just think they're the most normal. They don't appear to be facing any, real criminal charges. They're not stealing people's money for a church. They're not.
I love Heather too.
Like, I think it came to them in an organic way, and they're like, "Yeah, this is fun. Let's do it." Versus some of the other people that are more calculating in it and everything. Like, so
I agree.
I like them.
But we do like Lisa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like just being like, but Vita is top shelf
I don't
too.
understand why
Vita.
people don't like her, but I think it's because she's somewhat more involved. They believe she's more involved in the actual production of it.
Oh.
I don't know why they don't like her because when you
I think people don't
watch
like
a
them
scene,
because
she doesn't come off mean when you're watching it as a viewer. I don't think Lisa comes off mean.
In the beginning, her and Meredith came off really, really pretentious and conceited.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think now she's way more down to earth just in terms of seeing her hug people, and we've just gotten to know her.
Yeah.
I feel strongly she's got, has had the nose job since that picture at Kyle's, which is really what I'm here for.
Oh, really?
Because look at that. Oh yeah, there's the
right.
juicy scoop, baby.
Listen, I'm all for a late in life nose job.
Oh, any
Why
of
do you
it.
have to get it before your quinceanera? Like,
Why not be super pretty later?
Or the 16, like, or right before college. Like, in my day, you got it right before college or you never got it.
But now they're all prettier. Well, I'd say Meredith and Lisa, to me, are so much more attractive than their like younger photos. Like,
That's plastic surgery.
yeah, that's great. That's what it's for.
Mary was saying that she's got a print company. She did a Twitter live that she's got a print company that does all this stuff. They said no. There's the print company at Bloomingdale's is not Mary Cosby's thing. The church has been boarded up. Tonight's there's the interview with the parents, her parents,
Great, fantastic.
her stepdad, and I mean there's so much going on.
We
We'll know a lot more by like
Okay.
Well, you
in a week.
knew that from the beginning that the biggest criminal of the group is Mary Crosby.
Yeah.
So, you don't have a church like that and live like that.
I agree.
You just don't. It's like Joel Osteen and all these televangelists. They're all the same. They are living on a pyramid scheme of people's money. And you just don't. And in that situation where she's seen like a god, where it's even more of a subsect.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a more culty than a Joel Osteen scenario.
Yeah, like we are even now on adjacent to televangelism or evangelists. Like these people are full cult leading, like
My friend Cameron, she took he mortgaged his house with $300,000. Remember the friend
Yes,
Cameron?
yes.
But I'm here for
And then
Cameron.
Cameron and Mary were having a sexual relationship this whole time.
Well, I assumed that was why he was so butthurt, but I didn't know
Yeah.
they still were. Were they? They had
No, I
broken
think
up.
maybe it had broken up,
Yeah.
and then she was like,
Yeah.
"Get out!" Like it's pretty amazing. I'm pretty excited for the whole thing.
So what are you saying? The parents are having their interview.
The parents are having an interview with Up and Adam that airs tonight. Up and Adam is a podcast.
Whose
Is a YouTuber.
parents? Mary's?
Mary's mom, who looks and sounds just like her, and her stepdad.
And Mary's mom hates her, right?
No.
Oh.
The clip that they're showing is that she's saying, "No, the real evil one is Robert Senior."
Oh, let's all put it on him now.
Yeah.
Well, I said
Right.
less. I knew there was a reason why that she needed to marry Robert Sr. Why even the grandmother wanted her to marry him, and he is 100,000,000% was already masterminding the cult.
Well, that's what they're saying.
And he knew the money and the crimes and all of that. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Oh my gosh, how
So
exciting!
it's going to be very juicy. Real Housewives of OC. You're not into this. You're not watching.
we
it.
watched the first couple.
Yeah.
Okay, so Noella is the new girl who is married to Sweet Baby James.
Sweet James.
Sweet James.
Yes.
Honk honk.
We just saw someone fall in a restaurant. We said, "Call Sweet James." Like fall down.
So Noella gave Heather Dubrow some shit, and she said she asked me to come over at a certain time, and she's filming an infomercial with her husband. Then Heather goes, "Let's come God, so hard to get a quiet place in this house of 17 rooms. Come right here." And she takes her to her podcast studio, which has all of the accolades and like all the posters in the press and all this stuff, which some people do their offices like that. I don't, but whatever. If I had a professional framer on staff, I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe I don't know. But so Noella's kind of calls her on it. Well, Heather doesn't like that. And she says,
Oh, she says like what? Nice hanging of all of your self around.
yes. And so Heather Dubrow says, when you thank her for coming to your house to clear the air and move forward because you're working all weekend, and she comes over and pretends not to know and then trashes your business and your character, well, all of this and more on the reunion. So then Noella shows a text, which is saying, "Hi, so nice seeing you. Sorry for all that you're going through, thinking about you. Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind of you." Then she writes, "I'm glad you're free tomorrow." So this is Heather saying, "I'm glad you're free tomorrow. Thank you for coming to my place. We have a whole weekend." Oh, this is what Heather's saying. So Heather's saying, "I let you know that I'm working. We have a whole weekend of Shop HQ, so I'm a little locked in. I hope things are better in your world. See you tomorrow." Well, we know as producers, Heather was like, "This is great. Have her walk in while I'm doing this. Let's see the podcast company." But I think the producers didn't let Noella know that. So then Noella is kind of like, "Oh, come on, you want to show off all your business." But in Heather's defense, this was worked out with production. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So So then here she says, do we not learn from the podcast room? Meaning her, like, I don't want to beef with anybody. If you force me, I'll defend myself. So then she shows her schedule from the production saying, please arrive at Heather's at 4. Oh, because then Heather said she was late. Okay. And then she said, hi, lovely. What's your ETA? This is from producer. 2 minutes at 3:52. Calling on the second gate at 3:54. Or maybe that was Heather. No, that must have been producers. Hi, lovely. What's your ETA? The point is, so many of these dumb fights are caused by the producers.
Yeah.
They hold them back. They
yeah.
say, wait a minute. And then they're like, well, she was late to my house. So I don't understand why viewers are not as smart as I am.
I
at
don't
this
either.
point. Like, come on already.
I mean, at this point,
You can tell. I mean, that's the thing about things being they're too overproduced, and it just becomes too obvious.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not as fun. It's like even in the early, when that Heather threw her party and they needed to, you know, make those two, Gina and Tina or whatever, bring up freaking,
Right.
you know, the 50 nose or the botched boob job. And it was like, okay. It's like, and Heather's like, wait, do you go here? I didn't realize you were on the show too. Like, she literally,
Yeah.
you know, and they're already getting in a fight at her house. And she's like, whoa. And then she was annoyed at the producers. Like, you really produced this whole thing in my house. And I thought I was just having my Nobu sushi moment.
right? And then she had to go get Tara. Tara, don't take your leather jacket off.
No,
Come back
she just
downstairs.
rode in on a motorcycle.
Come on in. We got to go get these bitches, and they need to go get the car. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, Brandy and Julie, you've done it again. We have cracked so much stuff today. The truth about Jamie Lynn and Brandy and Mama and Alcoholic
Britney.
Dad.
yep.
And
I mean,
yeah.
we know it all.
Mama. The most important thing is that they say mama.
Mama couldn't get off the floor.
Yeah. What is your prediction for Britney and Jamie? Will they ever be hanging out, raising their kids together?
Ooh.
I say no.
You do?
I know.
So she won't speak to any of her family again?
I mean, maybe.
I hope she does, because I think she would like that. But I mean, where are her? This is such a bitchy thing to say, but where are the boys?
I think
Does she see the boys? Like, is she hanging out with her kids? Do they just have like mac and cheese once a week? Like,
I think she does see them.
I mean, they're teenagers, so it's like it is hard to hang out. I have teenage boys, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, I've also been raising them and doing stuff together, so it's like I'm not, doing nudes and spinning around and
Talking about shit in your pants.
Yeah, like I don't know.
With Dr. Ashley.
She played a therapist in a blazer with no shirt and a choker. I just need everyone to understand when they go back and get mad at me for making the she belongs in a conservatorship joke. I'm going to keep doing it.
We are sympathetic to what Britney went through. Of
course.
But, sorry.
My
this is too
prediction from the
juicy.
beginning has been this, because it was like the day she got to drive in her car, bitch was texting while she was driving. I was like, I mean, it just writes itself. So I do think that not her core fans, who are really, it's a group of angels, like you, and anyone could only wish, that original group that were holding the signs Free Britney really touched me. Like,
Yeah.
people being like, she was there for me, and I just, not even including those girls who are great, who did the podcast. Like, I'm talking about the
Right.
real fans. The rest of all of the, thirst bucket pile-oners, like Leah from New York Housewives, like, wore that Free Britney shirt on Watch What Happens Live. Like, bitch, all of those people will,
Yeah.
they will turn, because they love to build you up and then drag you down. And one of the most clever things I've ever heard Jamie Lynn Spears say was when she said, "Oh, we're not better as a society. We just do it in the comments we just hide in the comments on Instagram now."
Versus the tabloid days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there were some things that she said, like I said, there's things that I can relate to her as well, because I grew up in, with older siblings and stuff, and their jealousy and who gets the parents' attention and, all that kind of stuff. And then exasperated by being the biggest star in the world. Like, they have a very weird,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so, but I would wish that they could.
I think that the fans are going to turn, not the fans, the pile-oners will tear her down, because she'll be doing texting and driving. She'll be doing whatever she does, whether she says something problematic and everybody.
I guess in a sense, then you're saying like that's what I did, because I'm sorry, but I thought your skit was weird.
No, what I'm saying is that I think she'll get canceled, and then her family will get around her, and she'll go back with her family. because I think she will get canceled because everybody's waiting to cancel everyone. I think she'll get canceled, and I think her family will go around her, and that's how they'll heal because she won't feel the power of this fake power of people around her who are just completely turncoat losers who will turn on you on a dime. We didn't do that. I mean, we can make fun of her if we want.
Okay.
But I think she'll get back with her family because I think she'll probably get canceled eventually.
It's going to have a lot of
Kinda like
comments.
that.
It is? Well, you can cut that out.
No, I'm ready for it.
I like it. I support that. I think
yeah.
that's actually quite and just when you think of your own family,
Yeah.
when people don't talk to each other and then they come back around and they have to heal, it's like what pushes you towards
Yeah.
the family is when you feel completely lost, completely alone, and people somehow find a way back. It might not
Yeah.
be perfect, but maybe, as they get older too.
I mean, I would love it if they, a month from now, she's got her two girls and Jamie's got her two boys, and they're just two moms whose kids are like running around on a beach. Like that would be like, I'm sure that would be amazing. Like
maybe when their kids are older, those kids could be in their 20s or whatever and be like, we want our moms to be,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And they could bring them together.
They need to go to family therapy.
They
probably.
definitely need to go to family therapy.
But
not Dr. Ashley.
She really should have pushed off the book. But just like nobody wanted to give Britney a break when she needed it because there's an album and we have the space here and the tour and all this, I'm sure the publicist and everybody else and the publisher were to like, Jamie, no, this is the time. No one's going to want to buy this book a year from now. So
they need family encounter.
They all got. She did get pushed to. She did think about the dollar, but maybe she needs the dollar.
Yeah.
If the money is stopping because of Britney, maybe she's like, "Fuck, I need to start like,
I need money
working again."
And I think she one thing for sure, she has grown up in a machine where you do what your team tells you to do.
Right.
And her team is telling her what to do and she's doing it and she's memorizing the script and mama and all that and she probably does need money and good. They all better start dancing for dollars.
Yeah.
The teat has dried up.
Love it. Girls, Dumb Gay Politics.
Thank you.
Follow you and
We have a Patreon podcast. If you don't like politics, it's just lame though, but it's fine.
people love it. People love it. Brandy and Julie. Love you so much.
Love you too.
It was great.
Bye.